The first migration in Islam. When the persecution of the Muslims by the Quraysh intensified, the Prophet, may God bless him and grant him peace, saw that he was unable to protect them, so he gave them permission to migrate to Abyssinia. The first group of companions migrated to Abyssinia, consisting of 12 men and 4 women, led by Uthman ibn Affan, and with him was Lady Ruqayyah, the daughter of the Messenger of God. May God bless him and grant him peace. The Prophet, may God bless him and grant him peace, said about them, they are the first house to migrate for the sake of God after Abraham and Lot, peace be upon them. They returned to Mecca, thinking that the polytheists had converted to Islam and would not harm them. The reason for this rumor is something you will mention now. Al-Bukhari narrated in his Sahih on the authority of Ibn Abbas, may God be pleased with them both, who said, the Prophet, may God bless him and grant him peace, prostrated at the star, and the Muslims, polytheists, jinn, and humans prostrated with him. Yes, how wonderful and great are the words of God Almighty. And the Prophet, may God bless him and grant him peace, recites them himself in his heart. The Kaaba, among a large gathering of Quraysh, including its leaders and notables, the Prophet, may God bless him and grant him peace, began to recite Surat and Najm. The infidels had not heard the words of God before with contemplation and understanding, because their main concern was to deny it and not listen to it, as God Almighty said, do not listen to this Quran and speak noisily during it. Perhaps you will prevail. When he surprised them by reciting this surah, and they heard the words of God Almighty and the greatness of his verses and his explanation, he captured their hearts, and each one of them remained listening to him. When the Prophet, may God bless him and grant him peace, recited the prostration, so prostrate, and worship Allah alone, then he prostrated, and the polytheists prostrated with him, even Al-Walid. Ibn al-Mughira, who was old, took a handful of sand from the plain and prostrated on it, when they felt that what they had done was contrary to what they were doing and saying. They fell into their hands and slandered the Messenger of God, may God bless him and grant him peace, by saying that he sympathized with their idols and praised them, and that he said about them, those are the high drowning ones, and their intercession is hoped for. Yes, they came with this clear slander to apologize for their prostration with the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him. The matter spread, and everyone heard about it until it reached the land of Abyssinia. The immigrants there learned about it and thought that the polytheists would stop persecuting and torturing them. However, as soon as they approached Mecca, it became clear to them that the Islam of the people of Mecca was false and a rumor, and that they were still in disbelief and polytheism. They remained in Mecca, receiving harm, torture, and persecution.